Just by the date that appears on your screen, you may know what today is, and how special it is. At 4:16 this morning, I officially became 1 year older, and frankly, I think I'm to the point now where I don't even really care about any of that stuff. You know, as long as I keep having birthdays, that's good enough for me. But, so some of you may actually remember, my main computer over here had a little bit of an SSD failure, and that is exactly what I got. And it's a good thing that I didn't buy one myself, because I would have been cheap, and I would have bought the cheapest one that you could find. I can tell you that it would not have been 250 gigabytes in size. 5-year limited warranty, which means that it'll die as soon as that expires. But oh well, if I get 5 years out of it, I think I'll be happy. Supercharge your SSD experience. Yeah, they bundle software with these things, but I find that you don't really need the software. At least not for anything modern. It used to be that you needed the software because operating systems didn't understand SSDs, but it's not really the case anymore. So there are a bunch of numbers that don't mean anything. And the cat has decided that this is not a project he's very interested in, evidently. Product of Mexico. Let's open this thing up. Okay. So, theoretically I've got it open. Apparently you need 2 hands to open up the SSD box. That's kind of interesting. I wonder why. Usually you could do these kinds of things with 1 hand, but I guess not this one. Probably because I'm opening it wrong. Here we go. Get started. Here's your starter guide, whatever. They tell you to download their software. And here it is all dressed up. I really don't know why they bothered putting screws on this thing, because they're really not necessary. There's no caddy. If you're wondering what this ridiculous monstrosity on the end here is, the original SSD had a little thing that it actually was attached to both sides that you can use to pull this up, you know, like a drive cage would have, but it was attached to the actual SSD. So this is basically my replication of that. Hopefully it will actually work. Okay, well, after 39 days of being powered on, this thing will be shut down. Come on, focus. There we go. So I'll take note of that with this lovely keyboard here. I actually bought a USB to PS2 adapter so I could use this keyboard because I got tired of the other one just being annoying. Repeating keystrokes, and that just will not do. So that was it for that. So I changed over to this, which it's a rubber dome keyboard. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not the best keyboard in the world, but it's also not bad either. For a keyboard that is a rubber dome keyboard, this thing is actually not too bad. I mean, the typing feel is not mechanical, but it's better than most rubber dome keyboards are. This is one of those Keytronic Model M knockoffs, those of you that are wondering. And yes, it's missing a key right there, and this is broken. What do you expect for free? So, let's go ahead and shut this down and get ready to put an SSD in it. So, the hard drive. Oh yeah, I like my lovely keyboard light. Lights up the keyboard very nicely. So you can't really tell in the bright lights. I don't know what it's waiting for. Other than a lot of nothing. Here we go. You know, putting a 250 gigabyte SSD in this thing is kind of a waste, because I'm not going to use all of that storage space. But at the same time, I think that putting the best equipment that I can in my main rig is probably going to be for the best. So, we'll see. I may end up changing the SSDs around again, but for now this is the way that it's going to be. Really, one of the only benefits of the SSD is faster startup and faster shutdown. But I don't turn my machine off and I don't turn it on really often enough to justify that, so a hard drive is probably just fine. But of course, one of the major design flaws of this machine is that you can only put SSDs in the primary hard drive bay. Although I guess if you get a thin hard drive, you could put that in there too, but are you kidding me? Those plastic rails are not going to provide any protection for a hard drive. So you'd be better off just putting an SSD in there. I guess they expect that everybody's going to put an SSD in there. There we go. Now it's off. Alright. So. Come on. It goes right here. In this spot. I still don't know why they designed it this way. Really don't understand that. Just goes in right there. Now I'm not sure which way it is supposed to go in. I suppose we can always find out. I don't think the camera will tell me much of anything though. The camera won't even focus on it. So, hopefully I get this right on the first try. Hang on just a second. Alright. It's in place. I had it in upside down, so it wasn't going in properly. So, all of that's now corrected. I have this thing, which I can use to pull out the drive, which is great. So now I just... I don't think, like I had said, I don't think I've ever needed two hands to put a door back on a machine. Evidently I did with this one. Don't know why. Again, design flaw. So, let's go ahead and put this thing back up and see if it actually even works. After all of that, frankly I doubt it. Okay. Let's see what we get. I think that's the enter key. And it's going to take a little bit to post, I know that already, because of all the devices that are hooked up to it. Should at least get something here in a second. Here we go. There we go. Startup interruption. F1 to enter the BIOS. As you can see here is definitely changed from previous Thinkpads, but nevertheless. I just want to make sure. There it is. There's our SSD, which is what I want to see. So. Don't need to do anything there. It's probably going to still reboot because it's a ThinkPad. It seems to have done. Okay, apparently it was getting stuffed up on USB devices. It's the first time I've ever seen an SSD install break that. I might end up having to switch camcorders. This one seems to be behaving erratically. I hope it's recording. So, but, I don't know. Oh, I won't have my mouse either, because I unplugged all the USB devices. Won't have the mouse, and I won't have the keyboard. So you can see I try pushing scroll lock and nothing happens. These two indicators are dead. Well, they're not dead. If I tap on it enough, it starts working, but... Anyways, I'm going to log in, plug all the USB devices back in, and hopefully everything is going to work correctly. Okay, set that straight. Hope that's not going to become a problem later. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to launch Reflect. If it will actually do so. And it'll probably take forever to scan everything. Because it's got to do that. Yes, I have kind of a mess of icons on my desktop, and I probably should not. I should fix that. But, well, what are you going to do? Alright, so now we are going to clone the disk. I'm not going to use their software, even though I probably should. There are ways to get around this. Select a disk to clone to. That one sounds like a plan. We'll copy the partitions. Clone partition properties. Can I move it to the end? No. Okay, so let's undo that. Copy those partitions, and then this one we are going to move to its maximum size, minus 9.76 gigabytes. 9.76, set that to GB. 9.76. There. And this we will copy. Yes, there is more than sufficient space to do that. So, problem solved. Finish, and it will clone. Now that process is probably going to take a while. So I will come back when that's done. It might even be tomorrow. I'm not sure. Check out that I/O performance. Not so much the read speed, but the write speed. Man, that's a pretty good write speed. I did actually go ahead and change cameras. The other one is still misbehaving a little bit, even though that's the nicer camera of the two. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So now that I got that done, I'm going to go ahead and shut the machine off again. Well, I guess after it goes ahead and does all this mess. Shut down. So we'll turn that off, because I am going to have to move the speaker in order to do this. And unfortunately, I'm going to need two hands to run the eject procedure for the Ultra Bay, which is what I want to do right now, because I want to boot from this, not from that. Although I suppose it probably won't matter. Well, I don't really need the drive that's here anyway, so I might as well just take it out. Alright, there's the drive. C8. Let's see if it still works. When I do this, all the USB devices hooked up. But by focus, I guess. Should take it a minute. That's not an issue. At least not what I take issue with. Thinkpad. Product of Lenovo. Here we go. Does it actually work? Yes, it does. Nice. So much faster. And actually, that's even faster than the other SSD that was in here. That's impressive. A little bit of panic there. Apparently it had to take a second to re-recognize all my USB devices. So, there we go, SSD time once again. Like I said, though, I don't really use the SSD very often, so... Or, well, I don't shut down and restart the machine very often, so... It remains to be seen how useful an SSD really is. A new version of Cortemp is available. That assumes that I care. Of course, still gotta wait for all the programs and stuff to come up. I don't know why that is. Then it disappears. Well then. Get out of here. Alright, so there's all of that. Now the next thing I need to do, and this is something that you should do, run a command prompt as administrator. Type in the following. See if we can get some focus. Stay in focus, please. Hopefully you can read what I'm doing. Excuse me. That is the best result, or the result that it should be. The result is 0. If it's anything else, change query to set, and everything should be ready to go. But it looks like everything here is already ready to go. So, there's the SSD replacement. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, certainly feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then.